Alright guys, we made it back out to the beaver pond. Let me swing around. There's the beaver's lodge. He's been working feverishly, making some big progress back here. Here's my pup. We are up here this afternoon, or actually it's this morning. We're planting wild rice. And hey, don't knock over my bucket, please. So we planted wild rice out here last year. It was my first time trying. I had no idea what I was doing. But to my surprise, the video I put out, which was very poor, is one of my top viewed videos on YouTube. It's kind of interesting. You just really never know what people are going to find or what people are searching for. So I want to try to improve on what I put out there last year. So we're standing out in a beaver pond, and one thing I want to mention is if you're ever doing anything in a beaver pond, be very careful when you're walking around, because the beavers, they cut all these trenches out on the bottom for hauling material, so you'll be walking along these things and all of a sudden you drop. It feels like you're stepping off about 2 feet. It's probably more like 8 to 12 inches, but it's easier to go over your waders or just topple over, period. So be a little bit careful of that. And of course they always have sticks and trees everywhere, and it can really be treacherous. I always bring a change of clothes just in case. But we're planting wild rice. That's probably why you're looking at this thing. I want to show you, we had a decent take last year. What you're looking at right here, here's a couple plants that popped up from last year, and they're totally strip clean. That just means the ducks have been in here and they have just cleaned this thing out. If I swing over here, kind of all the stuff you see sitting on the water, all that's wild rice, and the birds have really cleaned it up. There's been just tons and tons of wood ducks. So what do you need to know about planting wild rice? Well, you got to get a place to buy from. The seed company I purchased the seed from last year and this year is River Refuge Seed Company out of Oregon. The seed shows up in a plastic bag because it has to stay wet to stay good. In other words, if you go to the grocery store and buy a bag of wild rice and throw that out in a pond, it's not going to do anything for you. That stuff's been dried out. It's probably been boiled even. So the real wild rice, if you want to plant, has to stay moist, and that's how it's delivered. So what do you do to get this stuff spread out? Well, it's very simple. In a pond like this, you basically could just get out here and broadcast it by hand. Because the seed is wet, it doesn't work real well in a seed broadcaster. You're really trying to just put the seed in shallower water. I mean, everything I've read said even anything under 3-4 feet of water is totally fine. I think it'll even grow deeper than that. But that's generally what you're looking for. I put it in a bucket. Gonna give you a close-up. These things are like little torpedoes. When you throw them in the water, I'll drop a few here. They just sink right to the bottom, plant themselves in the mud, and they sit dormant over winter. Once the water temperature reaches about low 40 degrees, your wild rice will start popping up in the spring. So really, that's what you need to know. Very simple. Just get out, broadcast it with hand. You can try a seeder, but like I said, they don't work that well because just the nature of the seed being wet. And there's my pup playing around in the beaver house. Hopefully she doesn't pick a fight over there. But I hope that was a little bit more helpful than last year, a little bit more substance. Check out River Refuge Seed Company. They also have a YouTube channel with I think they have almost a 15-minute long video just on the topic of planting wild rice, and you'll probably find that very informative. So there you have it. Thanks for watching.